Do you need the best to create the best? Or could you just get by with something like this? What's going on YouTube? My name is ADC Art Attack. His name is Bob. And welcome back to a brand new episode of Cheap versus Expensive. Today I've got a price difference. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. In this hand right here, this might as well just be gold. These are the touch markers by Shinhan, the original touch markers dating back to 1989. And this set right here comes in at a price tag of $315. That's a lot of money. How much is that per pen? $5.25? They're cheaper than Copics, and they're better. And then we have this. These are the Faber-Castell connector pens. These pens have a really cute gimmick of being all stuck together. Look at me, take them out and they fall apart. This is weird. Oh. Never mind, I like this. This was brilliant. Oh, I broke it again. I could do this all day, sorry. Can I connect them all? No, I gotta stop, wait, back in the box. This collection of 80 felt markers comes in at a price tag of $25, making each pen, 25 divided by 80, 30 cents. That's very cheap. But I'm not gonna lie, this set actually looks really good. I like the packaging here. It's cheap plastic, but to be honest, it is packaged nicely. I love the simplicity of it all. They knew what they were doing and they did it well. Oh, they've got ideas. They give you suggestions on how to, wait, what? Is this sleeve a coloring page? I think that's, wait, I gotta see this. Oh my God, there's a coloring sheet in there. Wait a second. It comes with, this is nice paper. This is actually nice paper. What is this? And then some marketing, right? No, look at this. What's all this? I didn't expect any of this. So it actually gives you examples of things you can do with these markers, and it's not pretending to be more than it's worth. A lot of these cheap sets try to be the expensive markers, and we know felt markers cannot perform at the high level. These ones kind of know that, and they're encouraging you to do a different style as opposed to attempting to mimic the quality and the style of the expensive. I respect them so much for that. See, Faber-Castell is actually an art brand. They know their stuff. So they're an art brand for artists, and they're, I'm sorry, I'm just like, wow. You know, it's funny because way back when there was an episode of Cheap versus Expensive I did where I did say the same thing, that you should be playing into the strengths of the products you are using and not attempting to use those products in a way that they are not suited for. A lot of people like to say that it is not the tool that makes the artist, but I do have to disagree with that statement at a certain point, and I will say that bad products or products that are not suited to the style that you are going for will not work. So just because Faber-Castell has done that, I am not gonna try to cheat these guys. I'm gonna play into their strengths. I respect that so much. And then we have the Touch by Shinhan. Now, these are just incredible and possibly one of the greatest cases I've ever seen. I mean, this case alone is worth the entry price. You could just tip out all of the markers and just use this case for anything. But of course, these pens are outstanding. These are of a very high standard. These are not your everyday marker. These are not things that I would suggest to every artist or people that are starting out, but I do love them. Let's see what the difference is between these two products and find out which is worth it. Now remember, during this series, it is not about the final results of the artwork. It is about the ratio of the skill of the artwork, the enjoyment of the artwork, the quality of the art at the end, versus the price of the product. That is what we grade which is worth it by the end of this video. Because otherwise, every time we do an episode like this, the expensive ones would most probably outperform the cheap ones. Especially in a situation like today where the products are vastly different and the price ranges are so different that it would be very hard to make a fair comparison of the two. So remember, during this video, I'll be talking you through what it is I enjoy about these products, what I find to be fun about them, what I think is good about them, and whether I recommend them to you, and who I recommend them to. Don't just grade it on the final results, because otherwise they are gonna win. I've hyped you up so much, you better win. Now for today's video, I'm gonna be doing a Spider-Man. I know. If you are a long-time viewer of this channel, you know I am obsessed with Spider-Man, and it is my go-to character to draw. Well, the reason I'm doing it is because once again, there is a Spider-Man movie on the way, and I cannot resist. I love Spider-Man, I love drawing Spider-Man, and I find Spider-Man to be one of the most easiest characters to represent in an episode of Cheap versus Expensive. There's not too much going on with the character's designs, so it's quite easy to go, nah. I don't know where I was gonna go with nah. But to make things just a little bit more challenging, I am not copying a direct image of Spider-Man today. No, I'm creating my own drawing of Spider-Man, obviously referencing the most iconic versions of Spider-Man, specifically the costume that we see from Tom Holland in the latest movie reveal. I'm really excited for this movie. Please be good. And with the drawing done, it is time to get started with the first markers of today, and that's gonna be the touch markers. So if you're wondering why I'm starting with the expensive side first, it's because I know what to expect. These markers I'm very familiar with, I've used them quite frequently now, and I know what the quality of these markers is going to be, so I can comfortably use them as a warm-up. I don't have to take this drawing too seriously, nor am I interested in getting fantastic results with them, because I do know that they are so user-friendly that I don't really have to put too much effort to get those good results. Actually, I'd say the bigger factor here is to use the correct paper to ensure that I do get the best results. So today I'm using the Ohuhu double-sided marker paper, which some people have said they don't like. I think it's pretty good. It's not the best paper, but I think it's okay. It's reliable. And as you can already see, the colors of these touch markers is fantastic. They have one of the most truest colors that you can get in a marker, with the inks matching the caps. And I can't stress how big of a deal that is, because they are probably the only company that actually does this perfectly. So that means I don't have to do any rough scribbles on a separate sheet of paper to get the colors I want. It saves me a lot of time and a lot of stress. The colors lay down flat and even, though I do always suggest that when you are doing a base color that you do double layer, just to get the most efficiency out of those layers and those colors. And then we move into the blending. Now this is the strength of these markers, not just because they have a brush nib, which yes, a brush nib is the dominant nib. It is, in my opinion, the only nib you should be looking for when you get an alcohol marker. That is a personal preference thing, please do not take that as an absolute. Get the nib that suits you best. But this brush nib is gorgeous. It is thick, it runs smoothly, it blends smoothly, it's quite soft, but it's not uncomfortable. I wouldn't say that you have to be familiar with using a paintbrush in order to use these effectively. You can just dive right into these at any skill level. And that for me is the biggest selling point of the touch markers, their accessibility, how user-friendly they are to people of all skill levels. If you are somebody who's picking up alcohol markers for the first time, you can get these if you want to. And actually, my suggestion is that you do get the best products you can afford. I know, it might sound just a little bit crazy to tell someone, hey, you're not used to using these, but you should invest in the most expensive things you can. But sometimes that's a good idea. The quality of alcohol markers across the board varies greatly. And the last thing you want to do is start investing in a marker that isn't going to grow with your skill level. I've used hundreds upon thousands of markers in my time. And while there are some cheap brands out there like Ohuhu that do offer you great quality and a high enough skill ceiling that you can keep chasing for a good chunk of your career as an artist, at some point, you may need to go up another level. But the problem is, by then, maybe you've invested too much money already into a huge collection of products that you're just not gonna need to use anymore. But as you can see, without much effort, and it should be noted that yes, I am a professional artist and I have been doing this for a long time, so my not much effort may be higher than some people out there. But even still, without much effort, I am able to create fantastic results. I think this looks great. I think the colors are beautiful, the blending is smooth, and there's never a point when using this collection where I say to myself, gosh, I wish I had more variety. I feel like set A gives me everything I need. Apparently there is a set B, I guess, because there's an A. I've never seen it myself, but this feels adequate enough. The big question, however, is can you replace the singles? You can. Okay, so that's a good thing. Being able to replace the individual markers as you go is essential. We need to be able to do this as artists because most of us don't use every single color. We have a preference to certain types of characters, certain art styles, and we will find ourselves not using one color more than we use other colors. So being able to replace them is pretty nice. But there you have it, the results of the touch markers. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about this because we are gonna come back to it at the end of the video. But what do you think about it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you think these pens are good? Let me know. But all right, it is time to get on with I forgot for a second what I was using. The Faber-Castell connector pens. I am gonna spend far too... Okay, this plastic is really sharp. You should be careful. Yeah, this is brilliant. Ah, I've not even started drawing yet, and I'm thinking to myself, these have already won just for the fun factor. Damn it. Oh, you can stand them. Oh, that's cool. I don't even know if there's supposed to be an order to this, because like pink is, there's no order. I'll just make it up as I go along. I mean, this wins. What's that? What's that? This is a box full of goodies and surprises. What is this? What does this have? It doesn't tell me anything about those things. I don't know what they're for. So I get that, like that, and then I twist that, and I put this one. What? I'm not a crab. Why would I want to do this? All right, so after all of that, it is time to start using the connector pens. Finally, as we said before, these are felt markers, but the nibs are actually kind of cool. Now, fortunately, I am using the Yo-Hoo-Hoo double-sided paper, which is a great paper for this because it isn't going to damage as much as standard paper would. These are, of course, a water-based marker, so they are going to damage the paper quite heavily, and being that they are cheap felt markers, I don't expect the paper to last too long here. But they're not doing too bad. Of course, the recommendations within the book did say we could do solid colors as well as doing patterns. So I'm doing a stylistic Spider-Man here today, with the base colors being a solid color and the shading being dots. Of course, one of the most crucial things that you have to do when you are using these types of markers is to wait for the layers to dry, because if you do not, the colors will bleed heavily. And that's something we just want to avoid. But it has to be said, the colors here are pretty nice, and I am actually, well, I'm not even impressed, to be honest, because Faber-Castell, for those who don't know, is a legitimate art company, and they have been doing this for a long time. They have a range of supplies from professional to children's, so they sort of do know what they're doing. And I think that's one of the biggest things we have to take into consideration right now, is that this product is made for crafty people. This is made for children as well. So we shouldn't expect greatness, and yet I am finding myself, one, enjoying the product, because I'm a big kid. But aside from playing with the product, I'm actually enjoying using the product. This is very easy because I don't feel any sort of requirement to create the best artwork, which means I'm able to open myself up to doing something different, something new, with no real concern as to whether it looks good or not, which 9 times out of 10 means it's probably gonna look pretty good. And it is! Now, I do have to be a little bit critical here. I don't like this cap. I'm sorry. While it is part of the gimmick and it does make for a little bit of enjoyment, it's huge. It's a big old thing that you have sticking out. I got nowhere to put it. It doesn't go on the end. I'll just solve my problem. Ha, ignore me. But that was surprising. I didn't expect that to be. You can even stand the markers up. This is brilliant. This is the greatest product ever made. Oh, I'm having fun. In all seriousness, look, well, I am enjoying this process, and of course the results do look great. I think it's very hard to argue that the touch markers are the superior art supply here. Just by definition, they are the most superior one. The felt markers do require that you put a little bit more effort and a little bit more skill and creativity into using them, which is a weird thing to say, that the more expensive product is actually the easier product to use, but that is what you're paying for, the premium of having something that is easy to use and yields excellent results. So I guess I put the question to you, which one of these products is worth it? The $315 Touch Markers by Shinhan. An absolutely incredible marker available in singles, extremely easy to use, extremely high skill ceiling that will take you all the way through your career, and with results that, in my opinion, speak for themselves. Or the Faber-Castell, a $25 set of 80 markers, not available individually, but I guess if you're buying the connector pens, you're gonna want other pens for it to connect to. A felt marker, water-based, which does heavily require excellent paper in order to use, and also requires you to go beyond your own comfort zones and to use techniques that best suit this product. I know what I'm gonna pick. I'm a little bit biased. Obviously, the touch alcohol markers. The sheer fact that I'm able to take these throughout my entire career and to do wonderful things with these and choose whatever style I want, every style that the felt markers could do, I could do with these if I wanted, and more. So in my opinion, that makes these 100% worth it, and they are not the most expensive markers out there. Yeah, in my opinion, they are one of the best. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I do hope you enjoyed yourself and you learned something new. And hey, I look forward to reading all of your comments down below. I want to know which one you preferred, which one you would buy, which one you think is worth it. Until next time, I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.